find a silver lining in everything, okay? You may be feeling unmotivated just now, but it is going to go away, I promise. Hey there guys, my name is Georgia from the Lazzzy Student. Today I'm coming at you from a slightly different camera just because my normal camera is in the store getting fixed just now. But not to worry, I am making do, and today we're going to talk about finding motivation at university. Today is going to be a slightly shorter video with some quick fire tips on how to keep yourself motivated through this Christmas slog and any other period of time you find it slightly more difficult to revise and study at university. So the number one thing you want to do is to check in with yourself and your mental well-being. Seasonal affective disorder is a real thing, okay? And especially this time of year where it's getting so dark outside, it can feel like there is just not enough time in the day to do everything. You can just feel really rubbish, and especially with all those deadlines, it can feel like so much is happening at once and you really just don't feel motivated because on one hand you've got Netflix and hot chocolate and hanging out with friends, going to Christmas markets, etc. And on the other hand, you have deadlines, essays, everything due. And to be honest, it can be really hard to motivate yourself when all you want to do is spend a fun time at Christmas. Whatever your headspace, make sure you take note of it. What is causing your lack of motivation? Do you not enjoy your subject anymore? Or are you just pushing through this module that perhaps isn't your favourite but you still enjoy your course? Try and find a silver lining in everything, okay? You may be feeling unmotivated just now, but it is going to go away, I promise. You just need to see how you're feeling, check in with yourself and make sure there's nothing terrible going on. If there is, seek guidance, and I'll link a video up here all about taking care of your mental health at university, because the more we take care of ourselves and our mental and physical health at university, the easier it is to find motivation when it comes to things like essays, because a huge part of that is staying organised. Don't push yourself too hard and don't end up doing deadlines literally the day before. A way to find motivation is to keep a really good schedule going. This means going back to our how to organise yourself at university video and making sure you are doing all of those tips, such as buying yourself a diary, keeping a calendar, making sure that you are giving yourself 2 weeks for your deadlines. This all together makes sure that when it comes to motivation, you keep in this cycle of feeling motivated, because you know instead of doing an essay a day or two before and spending 20 hours each day on it, you're literally just chilling, doing like an hour a day maybe on that essay, and you're gonna have it done way before the deadline. That helps keep motivation because it means that we're not looking at deadlines and feeling like the end of the world because we have so many going on right now. So make sure to keep yourself organized, which is a huge part of motivation, and I will make sure to leave that link in the cards just there. Find yourself some study buddies. Okay, this sounds so cheesy, but have you ever studied with other people? Sometimes this can prove a distraction, but most of the time this can be super fun and a way of keeping yourself at least a bit more focused than if you were just sitting watching Netflix in your room. So make sure that you are finding people on your course or with subjects similar and book out a room in the library, or at least go to one of the floors where you're allowed to talk in a group. Make sure that you are all bringing all of your work for that day, whether you're all doing the same essay or something similar, helping each other out, no music, and talking to each other. This is a great way to motivate yourself because there's other people who are motivated around you. Make sure that you're all feeding off of each other's great energy, bring some great snacks. During your breaks, listen to good music, talk, but when it comes down to it, set yourself a timer and make sure you're working for at least 20 to 40 minutes at once, and then you have friends to talk to when you're finished studying. This helps keep motivation because you're all in the same situation. As much as we shouldn't stress ourselves out too much and stay organised, we will inevitably have deadlines to work to. But the important part of these deadlines is making sure we finish them in a good headspace. And one way to do this is by finding people that motivate you. People you can study with, people that you can have a laugh with, but also know that you need to be serious with. So make sure you have at least a weekly study group or a study group every single day in the lead up to this deadline. Do this throughout semester. This doesn't need to just be a deadline thing. One of the tips that I learned early on is to create a Google Doc, a Google document with your friends, with your study buddies in the lecture, and be taking your lecture notes on that Google document so that all of you have different versions of the lecture notes all in one place, which means that if someone picks up an idea that you maybe missed, or someone else understood a concept that you perhaps didn't, or vice versa, this is a great way to keep motivation amongst the group, because it means that you all meet at least once a week for a study group, some coffee and some snacks, and you make sure that you nail that essay together. Okay, so your friends are busy, or maybe you're just more of a solo person. That's absolutely fine. Make sure that the way you find motivation is by finding something you love and limiting it. Now, before you click off, I know that sounds like a lot, and I'm never ever saying you shouldn't have a work-life balance with university. Quite the opposite. What I'm saying is that if you are motivated so much by watching reruns of something on Netflix, or you're really deep into a show on something else, make sure that you are putting time aside for that show. You need to write your essay, and unfortunately you or I can't fix that, okay? It's something that needs to be done. It's a whole part of the university experience. But if you're not finding motivation, think of something that does motivate you and make sure you reward yourself with that. Now, I'm not saying that you should spend a 90-10% kind of thing here where you're 90% watching the show you love and 10% studying. I'm saying that maybe you should block out your time. 45 minutes studying, you're doing that essay, you're working on that presentation, you're working on anything, then 15 minutes of your show. Or break your day up into a 3-hour slot where you get that essay done as much as you can, then you get to watch one whole episode of your show. Bonus tip, use nice stationery. Sometimes when we are sitting there with a really plain line pocket pad, we are not feeling hella motivated to get our stuff done because we're bored visually. If you have a really swanky, nice bougie jotter and a nice pen and a whole nice stationery set, you're gonna feel a bit more motivated. I know I do. If I have nice stationery, I feel really motivated to keep it nice, to take nice notes, to really pay attention to what I'm doing, and that can help. Even just that tiny switch of that visual interest can do a lot to help motivate you at university.
Hey there, future Georgia here. Unfortunately, I lost the footage from the outro that I filmed. I am so sorry. This is a makeshift voiceover outro right now, but I hope you really enjoyed the video. Question of the day, what keeps you motivated at university? Leave it down below and I'll be sure to reply to all your great tips. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week. Bye!